Yeah, I can hear you very well, Robert.
Okay.
What, two other people besides, right?
There's Stephen Payton in Seldovia, and I don't know who that 1-907-3984 something or other. I don't know who that is. All right, maybe we'll get going. I got him here.
I'll try to bring him back up.
I'll even turn on my camera so that you can see my ugly mug.
That's pretty face. Somebody.
There. All right, then. We do have a quorum, so let's call this meeting of the Kachemak Bay State Park Citizens Advisory Board to order. 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
IT problems tonight. All right, I'm going to call a roll. I'm here. Kristen Dixon is not going to make it. Sue Christensen is in Africa. Nancy Hillstrand. Curtis Jackson is out of state. Stephen Payton. You're muted, Stephen. I see ya. But I don't know if you can hear us. Glenn Siemens here. Aaron Peterson's here.
Aaron Peterson is present.
Meg.
Yes, present.
Kevin Walker.
Present.
Where's Louie? Louie didn't tell me anything. Shame on Louie. And Jarl. Well, Stephen Payton, if he doesn't answer, we don't have a quorum.
This is Nancy. I'm here.
Well, thank you very much, Nancy. I can put a check by you. So now we do have a quorum.
Yay.
I fixed my speaker too, and I can hear now.
Okay, Stephen, thanks. Good, we're good to go. And we have Hans and Jason. I think everybody knows everybody. Okay. Any additions to the agenda? Hearing none. All right. If it starts working, I may have to cancel a few things here. All right, need a motion to approve the agenda. Thank you.
I make a motion to.
I just need a second.
I second.
I second it.
Thank you, Nancy. Nancy seconded. Good, we have an agenda. Next is to approve the minutes from January 10th. And I have sent out a revised copy of those minutes yesterday. And all it did was add Nikki Sarzi's name for Evelyn. But other than that, not much. So
you didn't add my name, so my name is not on that roll call. I was here.
okay, that's a correction. These minutes are without a doubt a pain in the rear end because we have the recording. Then we have Kristen transcribes them automatically. Then Sue Christensen looks at them, and I look at them. I missed your name. I will make sure that they're on my.
Also, there's some audio problems, right, with that, so there's,
I'll tell you, you're just gonna have to deal with it because it's, if somebody wants to take minutes, well, then we could have minutes that, you know, because I can't run a meeting and take minutes. And unfortunately, this machine is what's recording it, so. And we've been told that without Pam here, which she no longer works here with Parks, they're not gonna provide somebody to take minutes. So we just do the best we can. I will make sure name's on there.
okay. So that's set up, I would approve minutes.
Thank you, Aaron. Is there a second? Meg, second. Any objections? Good, the minutes are approved. Phew. Next, we have public comments. Is there anybody from the public that would like to comment? We always invite the public to come and speak to us. I don't see anybody online. There's not any contentious issues. I thought we were going to have a visitor tonight from NOAA. I know that she was dealing with Senator Sullivan's people today, so she may have just completely forgot it. I will try and regroup with that because she's got some interesting stuff that NOAA's coming out with. So she is not running because it's in the Bay Lab anymore, but she is doing oceanography now. And I'm not sure exactly what her title is. Maybe I wrote it down here. She has a new title. No.
We'll find out.
Yeah. No, she is going to be doing oceanography for NOAA. So
Okay.
she'd still be working with the lab, but she won't be the big boss. All right. Let's move on. Hans, superintendent report.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Just follow up based on the email you sent out there, Robert. We're working on compiling right now the comments received during our scoping process for personal watercraft and UAS or drones. When we have that document compiled, I'll let this group know. So obviously, no decision yet from Parks regarding any regulations or regulation changes on that, but just working on compiling what public interest there was in potentially doing that. Also, Robert, we discussed earlier this week, we've officially opened the gates for Citizen Advisory Board members for the upcoming year. So if you have interest, certainly let me know or fill out an application and chat with Jason or any of our park staff for that matter. And kind of tied to that is spring is in the air, certainly in Homer today and here in Soldotna with 50-degree weather. We've got our permanent seasonal staff coming back here at the beginning of March. That'd be the Eric Clarks of the world. So we'll be welcoming Eric back for another season, obviously, there. And we were also fortunate enough, we've got two other staff positions filled in the last few weeks here. And the board will be meeting those individuals. One is Tiffany Brand. Tiffany is the Soil and Water Conservation Service lead there in Kenai. Fortunate enough to pick Tiffany up in a general natural resources position. And she'll be working on coordination with citizen advisory boards, our field operations in the summer regarding our sites, our campgrounds. So the board will certainly be seeing her. And just for some context, we have one vacant position left in the region of staff of 15. And we have turned over 6 of those staff in the last year. So as everyone in the room there knows, a lot of transition for parks in the last year, and we appreciate everyone's assistance and patience during that time. And hopefully that patience and assistance can taper off as we pick up where the folks that retired and departed left off. So that's all I've got for the evening, Robert.
Thanks, Hans. Any questions for?
Yeah, I have a question, Robert or
Go
Hans.
ahead, Nancy.
Yeah, I'm wondering, there's those emergency or executive orders by the governor and with wood tick chicks and things like that. And does that affect us at all, or should we be writing a letter in or anything?
That's a really good question, and I should have brought that up earlier, Nancy. Great question. The executive order for the governor disbands wood tick chick governor appointed board and Haynes Bald Eagle Preserve board. State Parks recommendation for that has been if that is to occur, to replace those governor appointed boards with director appointed boards, much like the Kachemak, much like the board here tonight. So at this point, State Parks is that's State Parks stance. So I guess I can answer additional questions on that if you'd like, Nancy, or answer them individually at some time, but that's where we're at for now.
Would it help for us to have a letter stating that we agree with you on that then, or I guess I don't know the difference between a governor and a advisory board though.
Yeah, there's to my knowledge, this is I guess good learning for the group and for me. There's 3 statewide. We have kind of 3 tiers of board. One of those ones, the governor appointed boards, which are those 2 boards for state parks. That's wood tick chick and Haynes Bald Eagle Preserve. We have 2 governor appointed boards, 1 commissioner appointed board. That's the Kenai River Special Management Area. That's a commissioner appointed board. And then the remaining dozen citizen advisory boards are director appointed. So there is a little bit of a tiering there. I haven't had enough stick time, to steal an aviation phrase, to tell you the ins and outs of the various boards. I do know on the Kenai River, the Charisma board, those are commissioner appointed, and this round, my first exposure to that is it took quite a long time to get the appointments through the commissioner's office. So maybe there's some value in the director appointed board, certainly as being a little more nimble, with our agency response to the citizens like yourselves who volunteer to be on the boards.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you. But if you want a letter, or if that would help, we could try to put something together.
Okay.
To help us state why.
Yeah.
And when is that due? Who's going to bring that up in a committee? I think pretty quick it's coming up, but
yeah,
I don't know when they're going to.
I will maybe instead of rambling on like I did, Nancy, I should have just said I'll get the pulse of the agency on that, Nancy, and circulate back that back through Robert. Does that sound okay?
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your support. Sorry for the political answer.
And I know there is pushback on wood tick chick just because that is a multi-representative board.
Sure.
I mean, there's agency people and then there's native people out there that are. So anyhow, we'll stay tuned to that one. Aaron Peterson's got a question for you.
Back at Cottonwood, 68.
I might need you to summarize there, Robert.
Yeah, that borough property that is next to Cottonwood Eastland, and we were talking about that land swap or anything. Is there anything? I know that
Yes.
we were talking that there was.
Yeah. Yep. Great question there, Aaron. It's not certainly forgotten on me. There hasn't been any movement on it by either the borough or the state. And I didn't do it. I committed to do last meeting, which I will have. I've met with the borough land management department on it. I've spoken to the borough mayor's office about it. I will follow up with another meeting with the borough, um, regarding a succession plan, if that makes sense, to meet the objective of keeping that land in for recreational purposes in perpetuity. So I'll follow up with that prior to the next board meeting. Thank you, Aaron.
All right. Anybody else? All right, thanks, Hans. Now we're to operations report, and Jason.
I came and sat close to the microphone, so
Yeah.
those fine folk on the line can hear me. We've done a variety of trainings over the past month. Use of force training, defensive tactics training, week-long research for Carter on that one, and ice rescue training with the local fire department here. Issued permit to do ice rescue type winter survival type organization that went and did their class work, portion of their class work out at Grewing Lake. Carter went out there, checked on that permit while out there, noticed some aircraft flying around. This was 3 weeks ago before that cold snap. We put a little effort to put some info regarding our regulations into the local paper pertaining to aircrafts and what is authorized and what's not. I believe it should be hitting the local papers here soon. Also in the local papers, has been an article on parks issuing a citation for disturbance of natural resources. It was a misdemeanor charge. Construction of a road on the state park lands. We did issue that citation to a lodge in Halibut Cove. What we believe to be disturbance of natural resources, which is anything pertaining to moving or disturbing rocks, trees, vegetation, this kind of thing. Our charges is that they drove an excavator through the park, approximately 700 feet, in an attempt to build a trail for their lodge. In the process of trying to hire VIP crews, got variety of applications. I have at least one guy hired. It's a crew of 5 we try to get to. Continuing to interview and solicit applications for that. We do not have a ranger station host, so if anybody knows anybody that wants to live in a cabin in the woods for a summer, hit us up. We've been attending a variety of meetings, one of which has been an invasive species meeting. Always had the invasive species folks help us out in the park and around the park. The interesting thing that came about was 11-acre infestation of invasive species in Crescent Lake, and it's aquatic invasive, based in the name of it right now. Comes out of the aquariums that everyone dumps in the lakes. It was up in Stormy Lake.
Alodia?
Alodia. So Kachemak Peninsula is thought to be Alodia free, but they found this invasive, and of interest to it is that not on the road system. Highly unlikely a hiker went and put it in there. So most likely float planes. Thought invasive species can't on float plane rudders, kind of things. Spread. However, that's the going theory. Of interest to our park is we've got a bunch of lakes that are float plane accessibility. Then,
That was at Crescent Lake?
yeah. Oh, one other thing that came out was that on the agenda, fishing games, personal watercraft.
I have it on, yeah.
All right, that's all I got.
Any questions for Jason? Oh, actually, I have the lawsuit issue on it. Not the state parks. Elaborate on.
State parks doesn't have any.
I shouldn't say again, what was it? Say Halibut.
out of the Halibut Cove community into the park.
Yeah, Jason,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can, Jason, I was just wondering, about, did you find out anything more about the herbicide being sprayed, or like how many gallons, or do we have to take that up with the soil and water conservation folks?
No, I can find that out for you, Nancy. But again, they found very few plants and it was spot spraying, so I would think a gallon of herbicide might be about the max of what they sprayed. But I can get the numbers for you and the type.
Great. Okay, thanks.
I think I sent everybody that report from the Soil Conservation District on HEA's power line invasives over there. If I didn't, I will. They had a crew of people going over there, and this was their final report, looking at invasive plant life. Mediated some, dug up some, poisoned some, and this was their final report. So, guess Nancy sent that.
And as Jason would know there, Robert, that's part of their permit for that. We were along for portions of that or most of that effort there.
Got it.
My question before start. Questions.
So that's Stonehawker Creek, and I think that's all HEA stuff. Okay. So there's that. The WAS is kind of washing that water into Stonehawker, and it's creating a little more of a stream, and it is eroded down through the right of way for the power line. To my knowledge, I might be misinformed, but I think that they tried to do something with that and then ended up was not successful. So I don't know exactly what's going on at this point.
I can provide history or what the current thing is, whatever.
Sure.
Currently, they decided to reinforce the existing power poles. That's where it's at now, and that fixed it as where they drove steel I-beams into the ground, deep as they'd go, tack those onto the existing power poles. River flowing underneath the power line, and that's where they're going to leave it until power poles fall down again or something. So the power lines were put in a glacial outwash plain, an alluvial fan. So the WAS deposits sediment continuously over its riverbed, and it builds up that sediment, and then the surrounding lands are lower in elevation. So HEA it may have exacerbated the problem by driving heavy equipment down the power line, which compacts soil and makes it lower than the surrounding area. So the channels filled with sediment where the existing WAS is, it flowed into where they were operating heavy equipment and flowed down that power line and carved it out to a relatively deep channel. And I'd suggest that it would be a new braid of the Wasnezitsky. I wouldn't call it a new river or anything. That river over the years is going to fill that channel up and will switch somewhere else once that area is higher in sediment than the area next to it. Yes. And historically, it had previously floated in China food. Yeah. Years ago, I think it shows it on Google imagery, maybe the 1950s. The earliest Google imagery you can get shows it coming into China food.
I think there's some angst over there because it actually affected that Silver Salmon Creek over there. And it is, there's historical data that that's an anadromous little stream up there. And I don't know, I can't get into that argument, but yeah. Okie doke. Anything else? Old business. We talked that one to death earlier today. Parking issue, parking ideas for Cottonwood Eastland. I don't think we need to go over that anymore. Oh, I'm jumping the gun here. I jumped right to the committee reports. Trails meeting. We had quite the meeting here today with various equestrian people. Very interesting. They're finally getting some interest in people with horses out there. So I think it was a real good meeting. I think between the bicycle people and the hikers and the bikers and the horse people, I think it laid out a plan to try and pull everybody together to at least develop a plan that everybody can agree to before you even go out there with a shovel. So look at trails, ground truth them, and then see what's going to work the best and how you can do it. And then have the understanding of who's going to use what trail and how things are going to work. So, but I think this trails meeting is working really well because it's got everybody at the table and there's nothing that's going to happen that will give people heartburn unless they aren't at these meetings. So highly encourage people to make those meetings if you have interest in those trails out there. So Friends meeting. Trying to think, we have not had a meeting in like 2 months. Oh, I stand corrected. Okay. Water trail. The only thing I could say about the water trail is they won the 100 Men Care money to go towards Kids Across the Bay, which is something that they started last year. So going into this summer, they're going to have approximately $10,000 to work on this Kids Across the Bay program. And they're getting their act together on making sure that people don't abuse that, have to figure out how they're going to vet families and the kids that really need to, they don't have the means to pay that kind of money to take a water. So, still in progress, but it's nice to have some money. So Cottonwood Eastland, anything new out there?
Nothing new, parking, stores.
Yeah. It's going to be a great place that my grandkids can see, but I probably won't. Oh, well. Eveline. Nikki said she would not make it, but she sent me a little notice saying that the ski club is thinking that they are going to renew agreement with parks. Because they didn't want to have to go through everything all over again, so I guess that will be a discussion you guys will have with them as far as and Friends have not made a commitment to do the summertime stuff yet. We've discussed it. Don't know what Nordic Ski Club is going to do. So she has made a budget that she's going to present to their board of directors for improvements during the summer. So kind of encouraging. Maybe the Nordic Ski Club is going to stay engaged with that in the summertime. And they found some people that could possibly take it up too. So Evelyn, great place to go see wildflowers in the summer, and good place to go skiing in the winter. So I don't know, Habitat Committee.
Nothing yet, thank you.
Okay, Nancy. Now I'll turn the page. So Cottonwood Eastland, we've talked that one. The Great Lakes today. Beyond that is the update on personal watercraft lawsuit. When they rescinded that ban on those in the, it's not the state park, but it is the critical habitat area, which encompasses the state. So the judge decided that he ruled in favor of plaintiffs, which is us. Say us, the people that wanted that ban reinstated. The state has until Fish and Game asked for a reconsideration, which the judge denied. The state has until the 20th of this month to appeal that decision and take it to the Supreme Court. If they don't do that, that ban will stay. If they do, it's going to go to the state Supreme. That's what I know on no decision yet, but currently the ban is still in effect. I confuse everybody.
It's loud and clear. Me. I was wondering, Robert, like when I see, I text Jason when I see him in the park, from, there will be, there is people in the park with jet skis right now, and I don't know if there's anything to be done, but just watch them. I mean, there's not that many that are coming in the park, but, or Hans, what do you want us to do?
Yeah, Nancy, no, that's we appreciate that. The notice certainly. We're going to work to, educate users to let them know, of this change in direction here, certainly for the upcoming season. But certainly the public or members of the board here reaching out to Jason or Jason's staff or myself is appreciated.
Yeah, I think everybody's on the lookout for personal watercraft, especially over in the park. And now that they're not allowed in the critical habitat also. So I don't know how this whole thing is going to end up resolved out. So we'll just kind of wait and see what happens next. Do you have something to add to that?
I was just going to say that, Jason and I discussed earlier this winter with the reversal there that this spring we'll have some interagency effort, as far as enforcement with state troopers and wildlife troopers regarding, the issue there, just to make sure everyone's singing from the same sheet of music.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we appreciate that. A lot of users do too, so.
I have quite a movie of it. I should, if I can get it off my camera, I'll try to send that to Jason because it shows all the users together and those guys going 80 miles an hour. It's pretty profound. So, all right, I'm out.
Thanks, Nancy. Lynn,
Just one thing I would. That's still.
yep.
Also,
Leaky buggers. All you can do is what you can do, and a lot of that has to do with people that are cognizant of the fact. There's only so many law enforcement people who actually write them a ticket. So we'll just see how it plays out. I don't know how far the plaintiffs can go as far as taking this to the state Supreme Court. That'll be, the state does file appeal. Because all the groups that are involved in that lawsuit will just have to scratch their head and say, okay, money. Down the road.
Robert, do you get your money back on the lawyers then, or what?
They have filed for legal fees, yes, but
Okay.
it's not usually everything, so. That's about all I can say on that one. Everybody's just kind of waiting to see what's gonna happen. Okey doke. Yes, I had some for new business under the Board of Fish meeting. You know, I think I've had that down for a couple meetings. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to say about that?
Just that it was a Wild West show for sure. And so it was quite the people running up to the, to state. It was really an open process, which was great. And so, but anyway, it will, I think as I told you that I am working with the board, I'm on their habitat committee. And so we're working on a habitat issue. And I'm just waiting until after they're done with this next Upper Cook Inlet meetings, and then we can get to work on that. So.
Okey doke. We'll be looking to hear more from you on that. That's about all I have. There's nobody from the public here. Anybody online have anything to say as a closing argument? Closing comment?
Say, Robert.
Yes.
Robert, this is Gary Condry. I don't have any really comments to make. I just wanted to let you know I've been trying to listen in to the meeting since the beginning.
I'm going to put you down as a public participant, Gary. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Kind of a wild meeting tonight. Technology killed us again. Aaron, got anything?
yeah, so I have 4 practice spray.
Spent bear spray canisters. Fill them with water. Use them for demonstrations, practice. Kevin Walker. I just got that yesterday, so I didn't have time to. I will. You know more about this than I do. Yes, I will. So at our last board, I was asked to write a letter to state DOT and support of the underpass on Diamond Creek area when they rebuild that highway up there. And the city has supported that because they have the Diamond Creek recreation area for the city events. And they want to tie all those trails together, go through a pedestrian underpass, go up trail up to Diamond Creek State Recreation Site. So I received a letter from Brian Anderson, Commissioner of Department of Transportation and Public Facility, and he just was thankful and wanted to thank us for voicing our support for this project, and along with the city, and we recognize that there's a lot of interest in this, and it would be a good recreational asset, the state park, and he did not commit. He said, we look forward to working together with the CAB and other stakeholders in ensuring that this project not only meets community needs, but also enhances a recreation and environmental value in the Kachemak Bay area. So it's not off the table, but it's not on the table. So we'll see what kind of budget they end up with. Your reading enjoyment. I did send this out, so you should have received it. I sent that out, I think, yesterday. Meg.
Thank you to Jason for posting.
Yeah. That was a written minute. We try on those minutes. It's a labor of love, but without Kirsten. Yeah. Glenn. Yarrow. Jason.
Great meeting.
Stephen Payton, you got anything to add?
I don't have anything.
Glad you could listen in. Nancy, do you have anything to add?
Well, I just wanted to add one thing, and that again, I'll bring this at Habitat Committee in the next meeting or two. But there is a problem with pH, I guess, over in the Hatchery Lagoon, or in the Tutka Lagoon. And they did a science symposium and found that it had some of the highest levels of, real high level of pH. So that was one thing. And then also the benthic problem. And I called DEC, and as it turns out, I guess the hatcheries are appealing because it came out in the actual NPDES permit also. And or they're now called APDES, which is because Alaska took over for DEC. So they've appealed what DEC came up with, because DEC was saying, hey, we got a problem. And so I'll be able to report on that for Park Waters on the next meeting.
Good, thanks, Nancy. Hans, you're the last one. You got anything to say in closing?
Nothing to add. Thanks everyone for your attendance this evening.
Thank you, Hans.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Without further business to come before this forward, let's go home. 6:32.